Hello everybody and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We have a ton of content coming out for you guys every single week. We don't want you to miss a thing. Our usual shout out of appreciation to our patrons. All those tips and support are highly appreciated. It's only going to go towards making the channel better. We're hoping to add a lot more games to the channel, such as roulette, video keno, video poker, carnival games, things along those lines. We just want to do it right, which is going to be very expensive, so it's going to take some time. You could help us out if you wanted to. If not, no big deal. We appreciate you guys just tuning in, but if you're curious about it, go ahead and check the description down below this video on the patronage. And for our patrons, we do hope you are appreciating those patron-only exclusive videos we're putting out for you guys every single week. If you have anything you'd like to see, just email us on the site. We're more than happy to film it for you. As for the rest of you, please continue tuning in. We have, like I said, a ton of content coming out. And if you have any suggestions, questions, strategies, anything related to craps, baccarat, blackjack, pai gow, casinos, Vegas in general, just go ahead and shoot us an email at sincityliving.lv@gmail.com. We absolutely love to shoot these videos for you guys. It is our favorite thing to do. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into today's video. So for today's video, we're going to be answering a viewer request. So one of our viewers watched one of our videos on some common dealer mistakes. I believe it was on CumBets, and put a comment on there just asking for another video of more mistakes. So excuse me. So I figured I'd go ahead and shoot a video with some other very, very common mistakes. This isn't going to be just CumBets. I'm sure I'm going to touch on those as well. Just some generic, random types of mistakes that I see dealers make all the time. And typically, to be honest, the mistakes that I see are they're generally just maybe about a third of dealers. About a third of all the dealers that I see do this kind of stuff. And typically, the same dealer will do all these things. Basically, if a dealer is in the bracket of type of dealer to take shortcuts, to do a little bit of laziness, I suppose, then most of these mistakes are then going to come out. The rest of the dealers have all focused on their craft throughout their time and have continued to improve and to learn, and they generally want to do the right thing. So it's only about a third of dealers that do most of these mistakes. So one of the first ones that comes up a lot, I'm not going to put any odds out at the moment because that's going to be a whole different subject. One of the first things I see is dealers that pay with the wrong hand. When you go to pay, you always pay with your outside hand, unless you're paying with multiple colors, in which case at that point you may need to use both hands, but otherwise typically you pay with your outside hand. Okay, I'm going to come around this way. Now, with this bet, because it's closer to the stick, it's okay to use your inside hand. So for this one, I would probably pay it like this, or go ahead and size in with it. But and only because all the rest of them have been a different color. Otherwise, I could come back and go back out. It also comes up a lot right here. The field is where I see this the most. Not only do the dealers pay with the wrong hand, they also pay in the wrong order. I see dealers that come around like this. So what they are doing is they are actually blocking the box's view of the unpaid bets. So, and players are already reaching out into the table because there's a good chance, especially if you hit a winner of some sort, say a winner 9, that we've already paid the pass line bet. So players are reaching in there. They're reaching in there to grab their money. They're reaching in there to grab their payouts, set new bets out, or possibly even set new field bets out. And meanwhile, this dealer is blocking the box's view of all these bets while there's a bunch of players' hands in here. Who's to say they're not adding more money to their winning bet and nobody's noticing? The proper way would be to pay with the outside hand, and you pay this way. So by the time you block a bet from the box's view, it's already been paid. The box already knows it was paid properly, and there would be no way to dispute that for the player because the box witnessed it. They know everything is paid correctly. Another very common one, and this particular one is exactly in line with the theme of this video. This particular one is just a flat-out mistake. This is one that does pop up, And it's just completely a mistake. I don't want to make them all the same, not that it really matters. I'll see stuff like this, and let's say in 8 rolls, and the dealer will come out, and one of two things will happen. They'll either catch themselves here, or they'll come out, they'll pay the first place bet, then they come out, they pay the second place bet, then they go to pay the third place bet, and they go, oh shoot, I missed the come bets, because we are supposed to pay the come bets first. Now, what's likely to happen is the box is likely to not say anything. When I'm sitting box, I won't say anything because I know they're going to catch it up, and I don't want to interrupt their flow. If they've already paid a couple of the place bets, I'd rather they finish what they're doing and then go and pay the other bets. Out of order, yes. But as long as they finish what they're doing, there's less likelihood of any kind of mistakes occurring. So most of the time, we're just going to let it go, let them finish what they're doing, and go out and pay all the come bets. That would be out of order. Come bet should have gone first, but again, we're likely to let that one go just so that the dealer can make sure they don't make any errors. And here's another one that comes up, and again, this one would be in line with the taking a shortcut or just being a little bit lazy. And it's paying the odds and the flat bets. I'll see dealers that'll do this. Completely wrong. We always pay the odds first. You always pay the odds first. That is proper procedure and the way it's supposed to be. So you don't play the flat bets and then the odds. You pay the odds. Pay the odds, then you pay the flat bet. Then you pay the odds, then you pay the flat bet. That is the proper order. That is the proper procedure. Doesn't make a huge bit of difference, so again, the box isn't likely to correct the dealer on this. But they do make a note in their head. When dealers do stuff like this, the box absolutely makes a note in their head of what the dealer is doing. Here's another common one. I see this a lot too. Let's say winner, I'm sorry, that last one I paid it like an 8. So let's say you have a winner 8. I'll see this. Wow, that's a lazy dealer. That is an incredibly lazy dealer, and likely one that's probably going to play the, oh, I'm too short to reach card. Yet if it was a 7 out, I guarantee they'd be able to reach. They are just flat out lazy. We size in. We always size in. Sizing in is the correct way to do it. And those dealers that do that little bit of laziness right there, they tend to also make mistakes on the drop cuts. So they'll try and drop it, then they have to fix it, then they'll finish paying. It would have been a lot faster if they would have just sized in. There would have been no mistakes. So that right there, huge no-no. Here's another one, winner 8. Pure laziness, 100% absolute laziness. There's no other description for that. Because they totaled the bet, because 10 pays 12 plus 10, so the whole thing pays 22. They totaled the bet, and yet, if you look at it, they didn't use any less checks. They used the exact same number of checks they would have if they'd have gone out and sized in properly and paid it properly. When boxes see that, when supervisors, not just the box, when any suit happens to be standing nearby, sees that, the first thing that goes in through their head is, wow, what a lazy dealer. Pinching the come bets. I know I covered this one in the previous video. But when you look at this, 10 pays 15 plus the 20, so that pays 35, right? So you cut out your 35 with your outside hand, you pick up the bet, drop it off, and you heel off the payout, right? But here is a big no-no. Big no-no right there. You never pinch the bets. You always make sure you pick it up so that the odds and the flat bet stay separate. You never pinch the bet together. Okay? Because here's what can happen.
I also see some dealers that pinch the bet and then heel off the bet. That's completely wrong. You bring it out without ever changing the odds in the flat bet. So dealer pinches the bet. Now I have seen this happen. 100% seen this exact shot taken by a player. And we knew that the dealer paid him right, but because they went outside procedure, screwed up the procedure so badly, we were not going to stop the game for 10 minutes in order to run the cameras for a difference of a few bucks. We just paid it even though we knew that the player was lying. Because again, we would have had to stop the game for 10 minutes in order to run the cameras back in order to prove it when it was just a difference of a few bucks. And it was the dealer's mistake that caused it. By pinching the bet and then dropping it off. So I paid it 35 because 10 in odds plus a $20 flat bet pays 35 on the 5, right? And now the player goes, what are you doing? I had 20 in odds. That would have paid 40 bucks. But we know they had 10 in odds, except that the dealer, instead of leaving their bet completely separate so we could see it at all times, what it was, decided that they were going to go ahead and squeeze the bet and then do that. So there was no way to prove it because the dealer had changed the bet. The dealer had combined the two bets. Huge no-no, big mistake. Another one, another common one, very common one. Going hand to hand with chips. Completely wrong, ungodly lazy. It's a dealer trying to look cool, but 99% of the time it's also a dealer that hasn't been dealing for very long. Because only the dealers that haven't been dealing very long think that going outside procedure makes them look cool or makes them look like a better dealer. The dealers that have been dealing for 15, 20 years are going to cut out the payouts, stack it up, pay it out properly. The dealers that have been dealing for a couple of years think they look cool doing that. They don't. Huge mistake. Huge no-no. Another one. We'll use the 9 for an example. If you've got a bridge, the entire point behind a bridge is that you can just size into it twice. That is literally the entire point of a bridge. That when you go to pay it, you just size in twice. So when I see dealers do this, that tells me that they have absolutely no idea what proper procedure is with a dome. It's exactly what that tells me. They have absolutely no idea how to actually deal to a dome player. That means they either never learned it, didn't learn the procedure, didn't pay attention, or just forgot it because they forgot it. Now, the last one that I want to talk about is one that there are times that you're going to do it. There are times that you're going to do it, and there are times that you're not going to do it. And what really separates a good dealer from a bad dealer is just knowing which time it is, which particular way to go it is. And what this is shortcuts on press moves. There's a certain point in a dealer's career where they start trying to learn all these super cool little quickie, awesome looking press moves for place bets, especially for higher limit place bets. But here's the thing: these awesome, cool looking press moves, they don't look so cool to the supervisor who was trying to make sure the player was paid properly. What that supervisor wants to see is the proper payout cut out into the cum and then the new bet built. Not no money hitting the cum at any point because the dealer's just stacking right into this, doing this, throwing that amount, dropping down a bet down. They need to see that the bet was paid off, it was paid properly to begin with. Let me give you guys a couple of examples of times to do it, times not to. Times to do it, the lower bets and the super standard bets. We have a $12 8. All right. 8 hits. Player throws in $5 and says, take me to 30. Okay, cool. I'm going to give them $1 and set up 30. That is such a super standard press that there's nobody that is looking at that's in any kind of position of authority that doesn't know what I just did. It's so standard, they would rather I just do that and move on than worrying about cutting out the proper amount and going through the various steps, because that one is super standard. Just like a 5 hits and the player says, take my 5 and 9 to a quarter. You got it. I'm not going to be technically I could cut out 51 for 30. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to give the player $1, and I'm just going to set it up. Again, super standard. Here's one that's not so standard. I could maybe get away with this one, but I probably wouldn't. I have a $42 six. The six rolls, and the player says, take me to 90. Well, what I could do is I could just give them $1 and set up their $90. No, I forgot to grab the other green. Grab 2 greens, throw them $1, set up their $90 bet. I could do that, and some boxes are going to know exactly what I just did because they know what the change should be. But the proper way to do it would be to pay it 50 for $1, set up your 90, then give them the $1 back. There's no question anywhere that it was paid properly. So I'm gonna try over time to make notes of other common mistakes that I see, and we'll try and do another one of these videos every so often. Maybe I can get my wife to do one for blackjack or baccarat, something along those lines as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and thank you very much for the comment. We again really love shooting videos for you guys, so we love it when we get an idea from one of you guys. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We will catch you next time. Bye now.